Hi, Will from MusicTech here with Seb from Arturia. Seb, how on earth are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Last day of NAMM. 45 minutes to go. Everything is fine.
Everything is fine.
Everything is fine. Look at my voice. I can speak and you can understand what I'm saying, can't you?
Perfectly, yes. Do you want to show us the KeyStep Pro?
Yeah.
Because this has been basically the talk of the show. It's a very exciting new device. Can you give us an overview of it?
Yeah.
Get into it.
I'll get a brief overview and just show you how how I'm playing with it.
Yeah.
So, controller and sequencer at the same time. It's a controller with 37 keys, velocity and aftertouch. It's a great device when you want to control multiple devices at the same time. So you get these 4 tracks over here, color-coded, and the idea is to connect each one to a different device and then just navigate between them. So, can you get your pad, microfreak, some modular. So I'm just using multiple devices and controlling everything from the same device, and that's kind of the beauty of these units. KeyStep Pro is both a controller and a sequencer. As a controller, you get 37 keys of velocity and aftertouch with a lot of connectivity. The idea is to connect this kind of device to multiple tracks. So right now I'm using computer, modular, microfreak, so I can navigate between my different tracks, and I control the different devices, and that's kind of how we expect people to use it.
So it's kind of the brain that connects all of your different parts of the studio.
Yeah, of a setup. It could be hardware, it could be something with the computer. It's kind of irrelevant, but the idea is that you can control multiple devices at the same time from one unit.
Okay.
With this keypad, it's a 37 key keyboard with velocity and aftertouch. The same.
Okay. So it's
the same keys you found on KeyStep, but you get 3 full octaves.
So they're not full size, but there's 3 full octaves.
There's same keys, right? Yeah.
Got it.
And KeyStep Pro is also a sequencer. As a sequencer, you get these 4 tracks. That can be melodic sequencer, so 64 steps, 16 voices of polyphony in each step. You can control many things. You can control the pitch, gate length, the velocity of each track. You can offset it in time, play forward or backward. You can set some trigger probability. There are many ways to modify your sequence as you record. The idea is not to have like a static sequence, but more to interact with how things are recorded and kind of modify it as you go. So 4 tracks of that. The first track can also turn into a drum sequencer. So right now I have my drum kit that I program in Ableton Live on the first track. And the 3 other tracks can either be a melodic sequencer or an arpeggiator.
Okay, well let's hear
Let's
it.
get into it, right?
Come on,
All
yeah,
right.
we want to hear it.
I programmed some stuff initially, and I felt like doing a bit of kind of drum and bass for the last day of the show.
I'm in. Let's do it.
All right. So there's a Metronome as well with a small piezo speaker that there's no way to hear while you're at NAMM with all the noise.
Of course.
But we also have a line output at the back, and I'm connected it to the audio fuse. So
what's the purpose of having the little little speaker in here?
Like when you're at home and you have your devices and you don't have 25 speakers blasting around you, you can just listen to it and start playing with the speaker.
Oh, great. Right. Okay. So you can set that as the audio device in your laptop, for instance.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
So I've set my tracks to 4 bars. I'm just gonna. Let's start with 1 bar. Activate record. Okay. Let's extend that. Right.
Amazing, Sam. Fantastic.
Thanks a lot, man.
Super, super cool, yeah. I saw you were moving through all the different sequences there. Can you tell us how you're doing that?
Right. So I had my drum kit over here. What I've been doing is just like writing sequences in real time, editing the steps as I went. I've been using the individual drum mutes, holding mutes, and just selecting which tracks I want to mute, clearing them. I've been using this track. So this pad track, I set it to bigger time division so that I could create a longer sequence for my pad. I was using the ARP, changing the time division of the ARP as I went. This was the Micro Freak. And this, the modular session, just I wrote, just fucking around, adding some steps that it went. It wasn't really in tune with the rest, just like some kind of percussive part. So, and then just muting tracks, adding real-time recording.
And how are you synchronizing from this to the modular?
Well, actually, all of the sequencing part is done here. So I'm using pitch and get outputs to trigger the modular, but there's no other sequencer outside. So everything in terms of sync, everything is done from the KeyStep Pro itself.
Could you have a secondary sequencer that you were feeding a trigger signal to?
There's a clock output on the KeyStep Pro, and there's a reset output, so you can patch it to another sequencer, and when you press stop, it's going to send a signal on the reset output and just send clocks. So you can have 1 pulse per step. You could have 24 PPQ. You could have kind of all the standards for clock, like DIN. So yeah, it's fairly easy. The idea was, that you can create a bigger setup with devices, sequencers, and have everything kind of playing together.
And is there any way of, is there like a control software or anything where you can decide which of these outputs are controlling? Can you do like CC messages and that kind of thing?
So we use the Midi control center. It's the application we've been using for our Midi devices, so that you can set the utility settings. But we have a small display here, so I can just go into the settings, and everything that is configurable can be accessed directly from the unit. So I can change, I don't know, the notes that the drum kit sends, the MIDI channels, the sync options, how the clips are going to play. Are they launched right away? Do they wait until the end of the pattern? Do they wait until the end of a bar? The CV settings we want to use, like volt per octave, hertz per volt, all of that. And these knobs can be used as CCs, and you can configure which port and which CC you want to send with those. Yeah.
So it's super, super flexible, and it seems incredibly immediate, that the control over your music creation. So super impressive. When is this going to be available to the public, and how much will it cost?
Yeah. So it's going to be available in March, and the price will be €399 and dollars.
Okay, amazing. Seb, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, man.